My name is Laura Waghorn, and I'm the training director here at EllieMD. And today we are excited to welcome three guests to tell their real journey, real results experiences. So today we have Carrie Rain, George Ward, and Jennifer Talley. So thank you for everybody for turning up. Thank you to our guests who are going to enlighten you with their stories about what has happened to them since they've experienced the peptides. So thank you for being here, guests. So Carrie, I'm going to come to you first. So, Carrie Rain, she's an advanced director at LEMD. She's been with the company since day one. She's based in rural Minnesota. She's a wife, mum of three, and a proud Mimi. So, after losing 55 pounds, yes, 55 pounds, guys, Carrie has maintained her results and managed her psoriasis using GLP-1s, NAD+, and glutathione. She's passionate about helping others take control of their health with empathy and real life experience. So, Carrie, welcome. Thank you for being on the call.
Thank you so much, Laura, for having me today. I'm really excited to be here with everyone, and I'm glad that everyone was able to jump on and join us for our educational call today. I'm just going to start out by kind of introducing myself. My name is Carrie Rain, and like Laura said, I'm from rural Minnesota. I've been with LEMD since the very beginning of time, which was a year ago. We're just celebrating our 1 year anniversary. So I started my actual journey on December 1st of 2023. And I had the reason I found this was because I had run into a friend at a graduation party over the summer, and she had lost a significant amount of weight. So I started asking her a lot of questions. What are you doing? She let me know, and I was struggling finding the medication. It wasn't as available as it is nowadays. So it was kind of a hidden gem that I was looking for, and I knew this was something that I needed in my life. So once I did find the medication, started taking it, I knew there was bigger things out there for me, and I knew that I needed to tell everybody my story. I had started losing the weight. I was successfully losing 1 to 3 pounds a week, and the inflammation was falling off of my face. I remember looking at my husband, touching my face, saying, "Oh my gosh, I have cheekbones again." So I knew that I needed to tell my story and I needed to tell people. So I started online looking around, and I just happened to stumble across somebody talking about the peptides, started asking questions, and I knew I needed to join this journey. So that's when I jumped in and found a group of girls that were doing this, and thought, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to make a little money also doing it. So I then joined Ellie, and have just been kind of sharing my story with everybody. I have quite a few friends and family that are on the peptides right now, and they have all been very successful. Not very many have ever come back to me and said that they haven't lost the weight. So it's been a real passion of mine to share my story with them and just continue to do that as we go on through the year that I've been on the peptides. So it took me about 6 months, and I successfully lost my 55 pounds. I've been maintaining that on a microdose of GLP-1. I've now included and added in NAD plus and glutathione. I started taking those because I have an autoimmune deficiency. I have psoriasis, which I've fought with my entire life. So I was on a prescription medication for probably about 8 years. And I just didn't want to be on these medications anymore because they are very harmful for your liver and other kidneys, things like that. So I knew I wanted to get off of these medications. So I've started including those, and crazy enough, I have been 100% clear. My skin typically would have like white pigment spots on it. I don't have a single spot on my skin anymore. I am completely clear and 100% healthy, and I am feeling more amazing than I've ever felt in my life being on these peptides. I do feel that this is what my body needed. So if you're looking to add in certain things and you're not sure what, my suggestion is start with the NAD. That has been amazing for my inflammation, my energy levels, and so many other things on top of that. So do your research, add those in if you're on a GLP-1 there. It's amazing. And then the glutathione on top of that is good for your hair, skin, and nails, and also for the inflammation as well. So adding that in on top of it has been great for me. I do stack my peptides. So those of you who aren't sure what that means that you can add them together. So I take half a dose of NAD and half a dose of glutathione, and I put it in a syringe, and I do that twice a week. And then I do my microdose of my GLP-1 once a week on my shot day. So that's kind of where I'm at with my journey. I've maintained my weight. I stick around 130, 132, 33-ish, and have stayed at that for almost a year. So I feel like I've been successful with this, and I really hope that the rest of you who are on this call are having success in your journey as well. And I wish you all the best throughout all of this. And if you ever have questions, please reach out to anybody who you're working with. They have a lot of information, and doing these informational calls and jumping on with us is the best way to educate yourself and educate your clients and other people who are looking to be on the peptides as well.
Oh, absolutely love it. Brilliant testimonial there, Carrie. So just talk a little bit more about how your daily life has changed since you've discovered these peptides. Obviously, you said you haven't got any white patches on your skin anymore. So just tell us about how that feels for you.
I, to be honest, it's very emotional for me. It's a very emotional thing that's when you have, issues with your skin and you feel like people are constantly staring at you and you start to hide yourself. I hid underneath. I mean, most summers I would wear jeans and long sleeve shirts because I was so embarrassed of my skin. I remember one time going to Mexico with some friends, and I felt people staring at me and laughing because I think one of them maybe made a comment like, "Oh, look at her leopard skin," and that and its whole like really made me very self-conscious throughout my whole life. And then I was a cheerleader in high school. Same thing. I would wear dark nylons to cover up my skin. It was just very emotional, very, very hard for me to get over the self-consciousness. And now being able to wear shorts again and able to wear tank tops in the summer and get the sun on my skin is everything I've always wanted, and just feeling amazing again. And like the inflammation is gone, and just being able to walk outside and not know people are staring at me and making fun of me. And that's I think for any person, it is hereditary in my family. So my grandfather had it, my brothers had it, my sisters, like we've all gone through that self-conscious feeling of, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm sad and my skin is awful. And here we are now I'm helping them to be able to clear up their skin as well and overcome so much in our lives with that.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I can tell that that was emotional for you. So thank you for sharing that, because there's lots of people out there going through the same thing. So don't ever feel like you're alone. There's always something out there that can help you. So thank you,
Absolutely.
Carrie, for sharing that. That was I I felt it. I really did feel that. I'm sure the audience did too.
I was trying to hold back the tears, I promise.
No, but it's life changing. These are, you're a real person who was experiencing that. And there's so many people out there experiencing it. So just thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable with the audience as
It
well.
is,
Thank
and
you.
the other thing is like it wasn't like it was prescribed to me. I had to find this. So those of you who know people who are struggling with this, guide them down this path because it could be right for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Carrie. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
next up, I am going to bring on George. So George Ward is a seasoned healthcare physician recruiter with over a decade of experience, also supporting operations across outpatient clinics. Now aged 48, he's seen firsthand the evolving landscape of primary care. He's a proud girl dad to an active 15-year-old, and George prioritizes energy and presence in her life. His interest in peptides began with a desire to feel younger, stronger, and more resilient while navigating the effects of aging. So, welcome, George. Tell us your story. What made you decide to get involved in or interested in the peptide world? Tell us all about it.
Oh, well, thank you for this opportunity. You know, it's funny. I'm in the healthcare space, and 9 months ago, I had no idea what a peptide was. Right. I got introduced to this opportunity through my buddy, Mr. Gary Simmons. Right, and he and myself were just like, "What is a peptide?" And then reached out to a sister from another mister of mine, Mr. Toya Moody, and she was like, "Georgie, how you don't know what peptides are? You're in the healthcare space." And so when I got introduced to peptides, it really just changed my life in a sense with the Samoilin peptide, which is my peptide of preference, right? Um, Tamolan has worked in a way for me where that we as men, I'm 48 years old. We men experience our hormonal shift like the women do, right? But I think most of us men rather suffer in silence versus seeking community to get assistance. And with the Samoan peptide, I've been vocalizing this with so many of my guys as far as like you need to get your hands on these peptides. With Samoan, I've been able to sleep better. I feel a lot more energetic. I'm much more aware of my surroundings, right? I stack the Simoleon with my NAD plus as well too for mental for brain health. Um, I work out pretty consistently. I'm in the gym probably 6 times per week. And I started to realize that what I would used to do as a pregame to get my energy up just so that I could warm up my muscles, my ligaments, I don't have to do that anymore. I'm not lifting as heavy as those younger guys in the gym, but nonetheless, I'm able to keep up with them at a decent pace, right? And again, as we've gotten older, we men experience that our bodies are not as tight as it used to be. And so with the Samoan peptide, I've started to realize that my body composition has definitely gotten better. Not to like I'm 28, but closer to like 30, 31, which feels absolutely great. Every dad wants to still be the hot dad, and that's just the truth of the matter. And with these peptides, with the Samoan peptide, it's worked extremely well for me in that capacity. My hair has grown back thicker as well too. My skin is tighter. Um, I too experienced some autoimmune disease, courtesy of Carrie as well too. Mine was ulcerative colitis, right? And so with the ulcerative colitis, it had its impact on my digestive system. With Samoan, the way it works, obviously, it's a growth hormone that works within our pituitary gland. It just starts to trigger the production of GH within my digestive system to heal me, right? So I also stack the Simona with BPC 157 TB 500. That also has a lot of gut health properties as well too, and I absolutely love it. It's interesting. I was watching a commercial earlier today talking about Entyvio for those who suffer from IBS or ulcerative colitis. And I was like, look, if I had access to peptides years ago, there's no reason I would have ever gone on Entyvio's prescription drug for my autoimmune disease, right? But the way it's been working for me, hands over fist, I absolutely just love NAD for the brain health, mental clarity. It's made a huge impact in my day-to-day work, managing what 9 clinics, never a dull moment in the healthcare space, and just being very cognizant of each Excel spreadsheet, each provider that I'm dealing with, each clinical leader that I'm dealing with, and just being very present in each moment of the moment with them to meet them where they are so that they can have success in these offices and these clinics that I work with on a day-to-day basis, right? Um, with my daughter, I'm super playful with her. She knows that even though I have extra gray hairs, I still am have the ability, right, to play tennis with her. Um, I can't play basketball, so I'm one of the sideline coaches on the basketball court. She knows she could take me on a one-on-one basketball game, but I'm able to be much more joyful and playful with her, right, where I don't have to resort to my age as a reason why that I'm able to be as engaged and present with her in any kind of outside sporting event that she may have an interest in, whether it's basketball, me playing tennis with her, or volleyball as well too, or just taking her to the gym for a good workout, girl, dad, father's daughter session. I mean, I just absolutely love this, what Peptides has been doing for me, and LEMD just being just the standard, I believe, in this platform where so many individuals are being able to get access to these pharmaceutically graded peptides. Like on the market, there's a lot of research grade peptides that are out there that people are just oblivious as to what they're getting their hands on, right? And we as ambassadors of LEMD in our respective markets, being able to share this information to educate individuals, to meet them where they are, to let them know they're not by themselves and that this is a community, right? And if you have any questions, it's always great to come back to platforms like this to get the information and then so that it can meet you where you are to take you where you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So, George, tell us a little bit about what your current peptide routine looks like. Obviously, you're taking three different ones. So, tell us what that looks like for you on a kind of a weekly and a monthly basis.
Oh, sure. So with Simoleon, it's 5 days on, 2 days off. With the NAD nasal, I inject that daily. And then with the BPC 157, it's 3 times per week. And so for the BPC 157, TB 500, in addition to the Simoleon, um, I inject those, and with the NAD, it's through the nasal. And I mean, I'm comfortable with that routine. It works within my lifestyle, right? I have no issues with it because I experience what the results are, right? And knowing what the results are, once you're having favorable results, you're going to continue to do it, right? Because you're feeling great, right? And it's noticing your clothes are fitting better, right? And it kind of gives you that sense of like, I still got it, you know. Guys, you still have an opportunity to get it right. Don't suffer in silence. I mean, it's like we men are so stubborn, and I get it. You women who are married to us men, I understand. Look, I mean, I know what you deal with, right? So stubborn, we'd rather beat our head against the wall like we're going to will this health. Regardless of how clean you eat, how much supplements you take, there's still a hormonal imbalance, right? And so what you're doing is not fixing the cause. It's putting a band-aid on it, but it's not fixing the cause. With these peptides, it addresses the cause so you can have better outcomes.
So, was there a particular moment, okay, when you started taking the peptides? Obviously, when was that shift where you was like, actually, these are doing something for me. These are working. Was there like that aha moment when you noticed it?
Absolutely, 110%, Laura. I never forget this day. It was probably after my third day on Simoleon. I called Gary. I was like, Bud, I know what you were talking about. And he was laughing so hard on the phone because he's on his peptide journey too, his GLP, GIP-1, right? And so when he went through his first injection, he called me, shared with me his testimony. I was like, that fast? Like, is it really? I mean, is it really that good, or you're just really like drinking a lot of the Kool Aid? Is it really that truthful? And then he was like, "Don't worry, George. When you try yours out, yours is in mail. So once you try it out, then you call me." Um, I called him on the third day. I said, "Buddy, listen, Gary, you were lying. I know exactly what you were talking about. It was that aha moment, and that aha workout was I worked out 2 hours in the gym. I barely broke a sweat, and my heart was working less. From a cardiovascular perspective, I was working at a much more efficient level. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, this is not really happening. And I'm like, 3 days, my third injection on the small, and this is what I'm experiencing. Okay, well, I mean, it's usually, it's a 90-day supply. I'm like, oh, well, we got a couple more months to go. This is gonna be awesome, right? This is gonna be awesome. And I just start singing that song to every guy that I knew, and also to all of my friends, females that are bodybuilders as well, that they were aware of it, but they weren't able to get access to the pharma grade that we have access to. Most of them was research grade, right? And so, with me sharing my testimony to them, they too are able to experience what I've been able to benefit from.
I love that. Okay, I can see there's quite a few men on this call. So, George, just preach it, okay? If they are considering peptides, for longevity, performance, weight loss, for anything, what would you say to them from the heart right now? What would you say to them?
Guys, Samolan does support libido. You might want to look into that as well.
He's
And I
like,
see a
wink,
lot.
wink.
I see a lot of women just nodding their head, right? They're like, "Good job, George. Thank you, thank you, thank you." It does support in that department as well. I would definitely start with some more baseline, right? And then I would stack, depending on what your workout frequency is going to be, or how active you want to be. If you want to be extremely active, you can definitely stack the Simona with the BPC 157 TB 500. But if you just want to just get back into the groove, for me, I wasn't looking to lose weight. It was just for me to gain and add more muscle mass and just pretty much get me back. Definitely the Samoan, and I was stacked it with the NAD plus as well too, because you always want to be mentally sharp, especially I mean, we're adults and we all work our professional jobs, and we always have to be on our A game from 8 a.m. to whenever our laptop closes. So I would definitely stack those two. And also NAD also could be used as a pre-workout per se as well too, where you wouldn't need those additional those additional supplements to kind of get your mind in a good space and get you energized. So those two would kind of be like my two favorites.
Brilliant. Thank you, George, for coming on and sharing your
My pleasure.
story. I can see all the guys there like, yes, I can see them. So you did a great job. What a great story. So next up, I am going to bring on Jennifer Talley. Now, Jennifer Talley is an integrative nurse practitioner with over 15 years of experience and a mum of two young children. Her passion is helping others move beyond the limits of traditional sick care to unlock true healing. So once a patient herself, Jennifer struggled with chronic pain, inflammation, pre-diabetes, and neuropathy until peptides became the missing link in her recovery. Now she is on a mission to help others heal from the inside out through root cause care, turning her own pain into purpose. So welcome, Jennifer. It's a pleasure to have you. Now, I want to just highlight before we got on this call, I found out Jennifer had a car accident last week. So everybody just gives Jennifer some love in the chat. She's got a black eye. She was worried, but you look amazing.
Aww.
And I'm just glad that you're okay. We know the car was totaled, but we are just so grateful that you are here in one piece. So grateful. So tell us about your peptide journey. What made you start on this route and taking the different peptides? You're microdosing the GLP-1, GIP. You're on the BPC 157, TB 500, NAD, and Semolin. So tell us about your journey and why you got started.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you, Laura, so much. And thank you, Carrie and George. Y'all are amazing. And George, you just showed up for those guys like nobody other. I so love it. So my journey is a little bit different than the two of theirs. So I am an integrative nurse practitioner, but well before that, I was truly the young person in my 20s in the sick care model. I didn't know it then. I didn't know what that meant. I just knew I was sick. I was hurting. I had all these things. And all they could tell me is, we think you might have RA. We think you might have this, but we don't know. Your inflammatory markers are all sky high. Here's some medicine. And in that space, I'm in my late 20s. I can barely get off the couch. I have no answers, right? So I trust what they're telling me. I take the medicine and I don't get better. And over time, I started to really dive into what can I start doing to my body from a nutrition standpoint and those things. And it did help me. And I was eventually able to get out of most of my pain and live a fairly, good life. And I decided to go into nursing at that point because I wanted to help as many people as I possibly could and not feel like I did in my late 20s. I should have been thriving and been just living my best life. Instead, I was hurting and scared, right? And I'm sure so many people can relate to that at any age group. And so I got through my CNA, went to nursing school, all of that. And then I ended up going into nurse practitioner school already with the mindset that I wasn't okay with the sick care model, but didn't really know which way to go. There wasn't as much available at the time because it was over a decade ago on what avenues I could take. So after I got out of nurse practitioner school, I still tried to develop my knowledge in that integrative holistic space and ended up being a first-time mom. I got pregnant in 2017.
Have we brought you one of these already?
Uh-oh, I heard, sorry. But I got onto, I got my first little girl. She is now 7, but I got pregnant with her in 2017. And as we all know, is a lot of things for women, especially as we're older in our pregnancies, a lot of old health conditions really start to unravel and show their ugly faces. And for me, it was prediabetes and just not feeling well. And so I gained almost 50 pounds with her. But all of the big stuff happened after my pregnancy. And so I ended up having really bad chronic plantar fasciitis. I still couldn't get my blood sugar under control. I had hypertension at the end of my, which is high blood pressure at the end of my pregnancy. And then being a first-time mom, I'm dealing with all these things. I was in months of the physical therapy and just didn't feel myself. And then you add the hormone shifts. So fast forward, did a lot better, was able to kind of get through using my holistic modalities. It took a long time. I had gotten pregnant with my son had him in 21 and was like, oh my gosh, I hope nothing happens this time. And after I had him months later, I ended up getting COVID and ended up getting my plantar fasciitis back again with a vengeance while still having prediabetes, could not get that under control. And so as that all occurred, I was already working in a integrative space. I was doing regen med for my patients. I was doing all types of holistic type care. And once I actually started utilizing peptides in my clinic and being able to prescribe them and utilize them for my patients, I'm still struggling every day, mentally, physically, spiritually. I was just in agony every single day. But I had a smile on my face because I had kids to take care of and I had my patients that I had to serve every single day. And when I started to go, all my GLP-1 patients are feeling better. They're getting off medications. They're literally, their labs are normalizing and they're just like, Jennifer, I feel so great. And I was even microdosing a lot of them at that time. And then I had people doing NAD for neuropathy while we were doing other things. And I was even starting to like dabble into, well, maybe I should start trying this. Like, Jennifer, why are you not helping yourself while all your patients are doing fabulous? But I needed to do the research and more for myself because I don't know why, I just did. So my research was right there in front of me every single day, the hundreds of patients that I served. So I decided to start off with a microdose of GLP-1 GIP, and literally within 3 weeks was doing good nutrition, all the right things I was doing before, my nutrition and all that, I lost 10 pounds. And like the inflammation just melted off of my body. When I tell you I couldn't wear anything but Hoka shoes and just barely make it through the day because my feet always hurt so bad. And mind you, I tried PRP injections, I tried everything, and they only helped a little bit. So when I started doing that, I started adding NAD and a little bit of glutathione. And within a few months, I was literally pain-free pretty much every single day. And to feel like that when you have 2 small children and have been through the agony for months and well, a couple years actually, it's liberating, it's empowering, and you just feel like a whole nother person. And so last year, I am happy to say I was down 33 pounds within a few months, and I was able to maintain it even through the holidays because the food noise was gone. I didn't have that, I want this bag of chips and I eat this whole bag of chips and like, what did I just do? Like you blink and you don't realize what just happened. And I didn't have to worry about that anymore. And so while that weight was gone, I was approached by a dear friend of mine, Ambra. She's probably on every video I talk about this with because she approached me and was like, Jennifer, like, what are you doing? Like, I want to talk to you about this opportunity. And she talked to me about Ellie. And I was already out of the space, the clinic that I was working in. And I'm like, this is what I've been looking for. A place that not only educates, has community, but also has the top quality type product that I want to only use for myself. So I stopped GLP-1s at that point because I didn't know where I could go that I could trust. And I talked to her and another leader, and I was like, I've got to do this for myself. I am all in because I want this for every single person. And so, oh, love you. I love you too, Amber. I see you. But you know, what I was able to start focusing now is not what I couldn't do anymore, but now what I can do. And so I'm no longer focused on the things that limited my life physically, emotionally, spiritually. I'm now able to focus on all the things that I can do now. Like I can wear my sparkly cowgirl boots and go anywhere I want and not have any pain. I was just in Michigan for a friend's graduation for her daughter, for a founder event and all the things. And I was like, I'm so going to probably pay for this when I get home. I'm going to be so sore and tired. And I was in this crazy car accident that left me without hardly any bad wounds, but this. And it got me thinking, I'm like, I've been in car accidents before that were very minor, and I've always been so sore and did not feel good. And I have not had 1 ounce of pain outside of a little sore nose and that little sore eye. And that was it. And I'm just like reflecting back going, it's got to be the peptides. And one of my friends that's in our group was like, man, girl, just cars just bounce off of you because of these peptides. And so I don't want to make light of it because it was a serious situation, but gosh, it makes me so grateful that I said yes to peptides for my patients years ago. I said yes to them for myself. And then I joined something that I can truly make an impact for other people moving forward. And that's just kind of where I'm at. So it's just been beyond an honor to go through all the things I went through, even though they were so just horrible for me. But now I can again live in that purpose of helping other people.
Oh, yeah. Helping others. That is what it is all about. So can you walk us through like what your structure, your peptide
Yeah,
routine looks like throughout the week and any
yeah,
tips for consistency or timing of the time of day that you take them?
absolutely. So I restarted on the GLP-1 GIP about 8 weeks ago because I was still not at my target weight, but I've maintained it since last year. I lost a few pounds after that. I've decided to take mine on a Thursday morning. I prefer morning dosing, but if for some reason somebody didn't like that, they could do evening. Like some people are night shift workers, but I choose morning just so that I know that I feel good through the day. But I chose Thursday because it gets you through the weekend, which is usually people's most challenging time, because that's when they're going out with their friends or family events, and that's when they get invited. So I wanted the strongest part of my dosing for that week to be on the weekend. So I am still microdosing. I'm actually taking less than the starting dose, and I do that on Thursdays. Like I said, I did start NAD about almost 8 weeks ago. I'm actually cycling off of it. And I do that the twice a week because you can do it once or twice. I found more benefit of splitting the dose into twice a week. And then I added BPC 157 about, I want to say 3 weeks ago, because now that I'm no longer having the pain, I don't have that limitation. I'm now back in the gym, trying to build a couple biceps and all that good stuff. And I take that at night. You take it Monday through Friday or whatever 5 days in a row you want to take, like George had mentioned. One thing I can say about that is I've always had sleep issues. I'm a very light sleeper, of course, with the two kids, and I never had that deep of sleep and the best dreams ever for the first time when I started taking BPC. And that's one of the biggest reasons I took it. But my recovery, even in the gym, is just fantastic. I barely have any soreness. So I'm looking forward to even seeing the additional results within the realm of how it combines well with the BPC 157, because that's helping the GH, and then the GHR is part of what the Somorelin does. So I think that answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people always ask, like, how do you take them? What time of day do you take them? So that's perfect just to hear your different routines.
Yeah.
So for any other people out there that are dealing with chronic inflammation or anything like that, where would you recommend they start?
So if they have chronic inflammation, but they're also looking to lose at least 20 or more pounds, I would actually start with the GLP-1 or GLP-1 GIP. The GLP-1 GIP is always my preference for everyone in clinic and even for myself, because the side effect profile is 0 to none for almost everyone that I've treated. But also it yields up to 26% more weight loss. And the inflammation reduction for both of them, you've heard everyone talking, they're fantastic. So that's where I would start. Now, if it's just inflammation mainly, and they have some chronic pain, I would definitely start off with the BPC 157 TB 500.
Yeah, fantastic. So obviously you're taking NAD as well, aren't you?
Mhm. Yes.
So what made you decide to bring that one into your stacking?
So I decided to bring that in because of the neuropathy I was experiencing, which I'm glad to say is I had 30% loss. I'm almost down to 0 now. Fantastic. Can't make that up, right? But because of how it really helps get every cell in your body working optimally, it helps your cell create the ATP, which creates energy. So if you can optimize every cell to work better, you're going to optimize healing in every area of your body. It's an essential peptide that every one of our bodies makes. But once you hit to be over 40, especially, it's diminished dramatically. So that's why I knew I absolutely needed that. And that's something I will not, it's a non-negotiable. That's something I will stay on forever.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. Like once you
Yeah.
start on that, they're like, I'm never giving that up.
Yeah. Ever. Never, ever. So,
Okay. So thank you guys for coming on and sharing your stories. I know there's going to be a lot of people on this call that can relate, with the brain fog or the psoriasis. I did see a question earlier, Carrie, if you could pop into the chat, that would be really beneficial. They was just asking a question because somebody's niece has the white spots. That would be
Yes,
really beneficial.
I did
Um,
answer that, and I said that glutathione for sure helps with skin
Glutathione, yeah.
rejuvenation. Yep.
Brilliant, brilliant. So, but thank you guys for coming on and sharing your stories. You know, it's impactful to so many people that are listening to this call, for the people that are going to listen in the future as well, not just on today's call. You're here, literally, we're changing the future. And we're just glad that all of you guys are part of it. If you're sitting there wondering, you know, the person that introduced you to this call, reach out to them, ask some questions, let them guide you and help you on what it is you're looking to do on your journey, because everybody's journey is different. So definitely reach out to the person that introduced you to this call. So, but thank you to each of our guests for just coming on and sharing your experience with us. Okay, we really do love hearing all these amazing stories. And that does conclude our educational series for this week. But we will be back next week with another episode. So take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay blessed, and we will see you again next week.